success.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Experience flexibility like never before with Ace Rent-to-Own. Whether you're decorating a new home or upgrading your electronics, they provide easy payment plan options that suit your budget. No credit checks, no hefty interest rates, just straightforward renting solutions designed with you in mind. Find great options to make a beautifully furnished space or surround yourself with the latest gadgets. With Ace Rent-to-Own, it's all within your grasp. Visit acerentoown.com and bring home more than just a product. Bring home a lifestyle.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into Outside the Box here on 93.7 The Ticket. As we're back again, took the last week off and right back into the swing of things here today. I'm Joel Norman, and we're joined by Lincoln Stars assistant coach Mike Zanella. Head coach Rocky Russo busy tonight, Mike. He had to do a little bit of trick-or-treating with the kids, understandably, but we're happy to have you here with us. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. You got the B team, substitute teacher night here. So.
Far from it.
Thanks for having me.
So, Mike, let's talk. You've been a little bit busy the last couple weeks. Before we get to what's been going on the ice, I want to talk with people about your schedule, because one of the questions I get a lot of times is, hey, what role are the assistants? You know, they know what Art does because it says goaltending and assistant coach. But I think they wonder sometimes with you, hey, wait a sec. What is Mike's role with the team? We talked about this last year. Explain again, though, to the newcomers, to the Lincoln Stars, or maybe people who just weren't sure what your role is with this team.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, the big difference from last year, this year, I've been helping our GM a little bit more with the scouting side, which has been exciting. He got me up. We were up in Seattle last week for the BCHL showcase, so that was fun. But my main role is definitely, obviously, to assist the head coach, number one. I think the big thing for us is video, is making sure video is always prepared, not only of ourselves, but of our opponent. And then, assisting skill sessions. Art and I really spearhead the skill sessions, and extra time with the guys, whether we're doing team building or got our own yoga going on at the rink once in a while. Luckily, our friends at Lotus take good care of us, and I don't have to do it every week with the guys. But pretty much kind of fill in the gaps off the ice a little bit too. So wear a couple hats, it's all part of the fun.
Absolutely. Part of being part of a team as well. Everyone does a little bit of everything in there. Mike, your second season with the team. This is the first time in, I believe, about a decade, the Stars have had all three coaches on the staff return for a second season. What's it been like working with Rocky and Art these last 2 years?
It's been great. No, it's been great. I think I've learned a ton from them. I think we gel pretty well as far as how we kind of carry ourselves and fill each other's weaknesses with our own strengths. But it's been good. It's been really good. I think the biggest difference this year has obviously been the turnover in players and being a bit younger this year and working with that age level. I haven't had a ton of experience working with that age, and I don't think the other guys have either too much. I think they've typically in the past coached older guys, and so we're all kind of learning as we go here, but we're having a lot of fun doing it. We got a ton of talent, and we got a good group of guys. So it's been a good ride.
10 games into the season very early on as well. But, before we dive into a little bit of the schedule, I want to go back to something you had mentioned before. You were out of town a little bit last week. You said scouting at the BCHL showcase. What's that like, kind of taking your hat off in season from being, hands-on day-to-day coach just for a couple of days, get away and do a little bit of scouting? What was that like? And maybe explain to fans too. I'm sure they're curious. What do you do when you're scouting besides watch a lot of hockey?
Well, for me, I mean, before I came to Lincoln, I was doing quite a bit of scouting, with USA Hockey as an evaluator, but also at the college level. A big part of my job was recruiting and not only finding the talent, but being able to bring it into our school. So, the big thing with us and for me and what I've learned from guys that are way smarter than I ever will be, is there's a couple characteristics that will always kind of translate. And the way the hockey's played nowadays, you got to be competitive. You got to have the fire in your belly. You can't really teach a whole lot of that. You got to be a good skater and you got to have a good IQ, right? Some things that are you can influence a little bit as a coach, but a lot of things that you can't teach right there. So a lot of the other stuff you can teach and help guys with, but those are three that really stand out to me.
Is one thing you're doing, are you chatting with guys a lot? Obviously, when you're with the Stars, you have to facilitate a lot of scouts talking with you guys. Was it you maybe in that instance at an event like this talking to some guys a little bit, or maybe just watching more from afar?
No, I mean, we're definitely watching from afar. And to be honest with you, it's a small group of people that we can watch that can really step into this league from any other league.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really special league, the USHL is, and to make that jump is not easy. So you have to be very particular. You have to really look for certain things. But with that being said, I mean, I got to put the shoe on the other foot here and pick those guys' brains. Hey, you've seen this kid play 10 times. What do you think of him? Hey, he's committed to you guys. What do you think of him? And anybody I should be thinking about, any other leagues, just same stuff they do to me all the time. Right now, I get to do it to them. So
there's a couple of guys on the Stars team who have played in the BCHL before, who've played in the North American Hockey League. Besides AAA hockey, those are the two junior leagues this league really pulls from for guys who are outside the USHL. What's the biggest challenge you see for guys who jump into this league? Maybe they anticipate it, maybe they don't. What's the biggest challenge that usually is something that maybe at least early on trips them up?
I think, with the talent level in this league, you're getting the best young guys, right? Like the very, very best 16-year-olds in the country and potentially the world, realistically. And for them to mature and be at a maturity level where they can succeed, I think is the toughest hurdle for them. Now you can look at the BCHL and it's more it's a Canadian hockey league for those that don't know. Tons of talent, tons of IQ, not a whole lot of physicality, not a whole lot of finished checks, but there's so much playmaking, great power play guys up there. But the USHL is a pretty tough grind league. So you look at the NAHL, the North American Hockey League, that's potentially the next best league in the States besides us. And that's a little bit more of an older league and a grind of a league. So those guys get the grind of it. They get the physical part, but I don't know if they're all as talented as the guys in the BCHL. So, but both leagues have tremendous talent, especially at the younger levels, the younger guys in those leagues. And you just got to find the right ones. So
obviously the Stars and the rest of the USHL, you have a limit on the number of those import players outside of the country. Is that something you enjoy a lot with the USHL too? As someone who's also worked with USA Hockey, is seeing American players really growing and playing in the top junior league, arguably in the world?
I think it's really cool. I think watching the American talent coming through, and with the national development team and how they operate, and they're really trying to cater to the top 10%, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But what the coolest thing, honestly, for me has been is seeing the Euro guys come over. One that really stands out to me last year was Klavs Weinbergs. And once Klavs really got comfortable in America and with a lot of things in his life here, he was lights out for us. He was really, really good. But just the adjustment that these guys make, I mean, they speak 3 languages and English might be, their third language. Right. And so you can say like, oh, why don't they understand what we're saying? It's like, well, they do in 2 other languages, just not ours. So, and I can't speak a second language, so they're a heck of a lot smarter than me. But, the adjustment and the sacrifice that these guys make at 16, 17, 18 years old, moving to a country with a dream and, leaving their family behind. It's amazing to watch. It's really cool to see.
Klavs is a great example. from last year. I mean, I remember him early on. You could see nervousness with the pressure being an NHL draft pick, trying to figure out that college commitment as well. And, once he seemed like he made that commitment, obviously it changed it later on. Seemed like it was almost like a burden off of his shoulders at the time. And you talk about the language and the cultural differences. Just a fun story from with last year. I've probably told it to you before. I just remember one time he got some fan mail. Someone wanted him something to get signed, and I gave that to him, and I said, okay, and just put this in the mail at your billet's place. And he's like, mail? And he had no clue what that meant, and like how to do that. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is the first time he's had to encounter that. Granted, plenty of our American-born players don't know how to mail stuff
that's
either.
what I was gonna say.
So we do encounter that problem occasionally as well. We're off and running here, getting started on Outside the Box. We're chatting Lincoln Stars hockey. I'm the team's broadcaster, Joel Norman, joined by assistant coach Mike Zanella. And a tough weekend for the Stars this past weekend. A couple of games on the road. They played Waterloo last Friday, a 5-1 loss on that one before falling the next day at Des Moines, 4-3. And Mike, it's so early on in the road schedule, and this is something we talk about a lot. We did this a lot last year at this time. For guys who are new to this league, who are new to junior hockey, a lot of times this is the first time they're going on the road and a crowd is yelling at them. Yeah. And they're playing on ice they're not as familiar with. And, there are challenges. And the first time maybe they're hopping on the bus for 5 or 6 hours. And it's just the road presents its challenges in this league. And, we saw last year, this team got off to a hot start in the month of October. This year, the month of October, and I think we can fittingly say it here on the 31st, the month of October was certainly one of lessons, I felt like, along the way. There were a lot of lessons for this team to learn, and there's a lot of growth, I think, that maybe can be done with the course of that as well. Would you agree?
Yes. And Joel, you're so professional with how you word things. I really respect it. But no, I think last year we had a lot of older guys that were ready to run with it. We run with the baton as soon as we handed it to them. And this year there's just a lot more teaching, and we've got a lot of new guys to the league. It's not that we're young. There's a lot of new guys to this league. And when you go to Waterloo, and they got an Olympic sheet and they're flying all around the ice and their power play goes 4-for-4, you're not going to win too many games when your opponent's power play goes 4-for-4. And then the next night you go to a place like Des Moines with the smallest rink in the building, smallest rink in the league. And they are dirty area specialists, right? Like that team made a run last year going into playoffs that they were arguably the hottest team going into playoffs last year. And I think it was really based upon how their coach operates and how they play. And they play a really tough, dirty area game, and they're going to own those areas and they're going to make you work for everything. And, we didn't adjust the best from night to night, but again, it's all growing pains and learning pains. Like you said, I think our guys are adapting well, and unfortunately they're not getting, rewarded for it yet, but that's what makes it fun down the road, is once you can look back and be like, oh wow, yeah, that was a big learning curve. So it's an exciting group for sure.
You bring up the rink size, and I remember we were doing that Saturday. We were sitting there getting ready before that one, and you were looking and like, oh my gosh, the circle is almost touching the boards, the far face-off circles. Yeah. And meanwhile in Waterloo, you can't have enough space there. It was too much. Yeah. It was so funny the way that worked out, but it is a younger group, and I think that's something that's there's a lot of potential with that as well. I think some of the teams we've seen already this year, in particular Des Moines, their record doesn't say it right now. I'll keep saying, I said it on Saturday night, I'm impressed with the progress they have made from one year to another. Already that top line that they showcased on Saturday, I think was better than any line that we saw that they had last season. Sioux City, their group is a year older, and they're showing it right now. That's an experienced group, and that's the process in this league. There is a lot of turnover on your roster, but you can't realistically hope to keep the same guys there for 4 years, that whole group during that time. This isn't college, this isn't high school in that sense. It's, there are challenges with building a roster and building some winners among them.
For sure. And if you look across the league and how other teams do and how they start versus how they finish, I think one big eye-opener for me last year was Tri-City. Tri-City, I think they did okay at the showcase. They might have won both of the showcase, but the first 10 games for them didn't go great. But credit to them, they made a couple moves, they got their guys on board, and by the end of the year, they were as good as anybody, ready to win the whole thing. They ran into a couple hot teams there, but I think that teams that have been through it understand how that it's a growing process, and from game 0 to game 62, a lot can happen and a lot will happen, right? And you got to keep playing the long game with the guys and understanding that, hey, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Every day is very important. You have to treat every day like its own little sprint, but make sure you have the long-term vision and understand that, hey, things are going to change. There's probably going to be some personnel change around, and that's just how the league works. But ultimately, the coolest thing is seeing some of the younger guys, especially how they play in the first half of the year versus how they play in the second half. Once they start to get comfortable in the league, you can really see their talent shine through. A guy like, Trevor Connolly last year on Tri-City, like he was 30 games almost with a point streak there going. And
Yeah.
as an 06, that's pretty
Incredible.
impressive. So Swanson, guys like Swanson, yes, younger. I mean, even Kleber, right? Being an 06 in the league last year, he even down the stretch, he was really, really good for us. So it's great. It's really cool to see.
I really like that comparison you made. The Tri-City. That's something I didn't even think about. Was they did start really slow. I remember that one October weekend, we won the home and home 6-3 both nights. And we're thinking, holy cow, this is not the team from a year ago. But you're right, they made some trades. And I think if you're a fan, if you're looking at the start for the Stars, you see 3-6-0-1, and you're thinking, oh, geez, well, maybe it's a different year. I think that's a good team to maybe look at and say, because let's be honest, there's going to be some changes in the roster one way or another with the Stars. It's going to happen here as well. And there's going to be, more importantly, some improvements from these guys, like you said, from the first half of the season into that second half.
For sure. And I mean, you look at some of the younger guys, the 07s on the team this year, like coming from U15 to this, like this is a huge
Different
jump.
animal.
And not that they can't do it, it's just they're figuring out how to do it. And they're doing a great job, honestly. I thought Jans had one of his best games this weekend. Rombach's coming around really well. Like, so you look at the young guys, and again, it's really exciting to see their second half from their first half. And you just hope that everybody can be patient and make sure that they're staying positive and understand that this is a development league. So
two really good examples right there in those two. I thought, Rombach had 3 shots on goal, good shots on goal on Saturday night. Jans looks more comfortable with every game. And I think people forget how young these guys are a lot of times. If I'm not mistaken, I think Rombach is the younger of the two right now. But either way, those are 2 16-year-olds who were just jumping in. And, Mike, I mean, I couldn't imagine being in. We talked about the international players. They come over here, and all of a sudden, you're speaking a different language. You have to deal with all that. I couldn't imagine being a 16-year-old jumping into this type of league, the physicality and the speed that it certainly brings.
For sure. There's definitely an eye opener for each guy in their own way. So even these 2 guys sitting next to us, right? I'm sure they'll tell you about their adjustment, how that's been. I know Woody didn't play too much, and Shawzy coming from prep, and he got a cup of coffee in the null last year, but I don't think that's still quite as what he's seeing today. And both these guys are adjusting well, but you gotta take time, man. You gotta be positive, and you gotta make sure that you're looking at the positive side of things, building on your strengths and not worrying about your weaknesses all the time. Right? Everybody's got weaknesses, right? We all got flaws. So if you keep talking about those or thinking about those, that's all you're going to be obsessed with. So excited for these 2 guys here.
I want to touch on them in just a moment because they'll be coming up in a little bit after the break. First, I want to go back. It's not the most exciting topic, the special teams, though, from this past weekend.
I got to go.
All of a sudden, there's the cue. I want to spin this way, though, because I thought despite the 0-for-9 showing last Friday, which, yes, on paper is 0-for-9, I thought there were some serious improvements over the course of that night on the power play. Though they didn't get that one goal, I thought they really looked more and more comfortable. And then we saw some changes, which I felt like really worked out for the better on Saturday. Again, not quite the result, but it's that process. I think Rocky's always talking about. Tell me where you feel like this team's at with the power play. Because, like I said, I think it's taken some steps and looks a lot better than its percentage says it is.
For sure. And I think, a big part of it, you definitely want to give the players ownership of the power play. I think that's, you put some of your most talented guys on the power play for a reason, for them to use their strengths and their IQ and their skill set. But also part of that is on us as coaches and figuring out who's got what skill set, who's best in what spot, and helping groom them in that position. Just about all these guys have played on a power play before, but we can't have 25 guys coming down the downhill, right? Someone's got to be Nefret, right? So, but in reality, it's a 2-way street. So I think as much as we're being patient with them, they're being patient with us. And some nights you have it, some nights you don't. 2 weeks ago we were 90% on the kill, and we were third in the league. And couple bad weeks, and all of a sudden you're looking at you're like ninth in the league and clipping at 75%. So not where we want to be, but again, like you look around the league, you look at a team like Tri-City, they're second in our conference, and they're 11% on the power play. So do you need it to survive in the beginning? It's nice to have. It's definitely nice
100%.
to have, but again, it's something that you can't beat a dead horse, right? You just let it be and keep growing and try different things and keep the guys energized and make sure they're out there having fun when they're out there. Because as soon as you start gripping your sticks, you might as well have 4 players on the ice too, right? So
We're going to have a day. Maybe it's this weekend. Maybe it's next weekend. I don't know. It's going to be here soon where it's going to be, a 2 power play goal night, 5 for 5 on the PK, lighting the lamp 6 or 7 times. Like we're so darn close to that point, Mike. And I mean, I imagine that's something like, I think you guys have got to be feeling like that's around the corner.
For sure. I mean, even Saturday we gave up, we only had 2 penalty kills. The goal we gave up on the penalty kill, our D goes down to block it. It goes through his legs and through our goalie's legs. Like, our goalie's not going to be able to see that because he's down blocking it, but the chances of it going through his legs while he's down on a knee, like, it is what it is. It's hockey.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you got to love the highs and you got to deal with the lows. So, you can't get too high, can't get too low.
We'll talk about something more exciting now. Tell me about these guys. Tyler Wood and Reese Shaw, they're going to be joining us in just a second here after the break. Tell me what they both bring to this team. These are both guys who are in their first season here in Lincoln.
Yeah, no, they're exciting players for sure. I think, they're me being my second year here, right? Neither one of them were here last year. I know we had property over Woody the year before, and at the beginning of last year when he was hurt and whatnot. So I think, I can start with Woody and the fact that, he's really highly regarded player and his skill set and his IQ. But the fun thing about Woody is he's got as much jam as anybody too. So, he's not afraid to mix it up. I think sometimes maybe too much. He forgets that he can score goals and he's a skilled player, but he just wants to grab somebody. But no, I think it's all part of where we're at as a team, right? He's growing, we're growing, and everybody's just trying to contribute right now. So super excited for him. Shawzy, I think I was a little bit more of a part of last year with the draft. Nick was our GM was a really big fan of Shaw. Had saw him at Gentry, right? And then after that, saw him quite a bit. His time at the Null was 6 games, 6 or 7. But he's been a hot commodity since then. I tell you what, a lot of colleges were asking about him this summer before I even got to see him play in person. So Shawzy's a tall centerman who's a great skater, thinks the game really well. He's very vocal. He likes to make sure that everybody's on the same page, which I think really helps him play a 200-foot game. I think he's sneakily has some really offensive upside. I think sometimes he likes to pass the puck too much, and I get on him about it. And I like to see him shoot like today. Like he's got these backdoor tap-ins. He's got to make the extra pass. But once we get these guys both shooting a lot more, they're going to get rewarded for it. So 2 exciting players here that if people don't have their autograph, they should probably get it pretty soon.
They'll get plenty of opportunities over the course of our season.
A lot of money.
Yeah, once they get there. I want to talk about this with Reese. He's a guy you said you were involved with the drafting process. One of the unique things about junior hockey for most levels, of course, you have that drafting. Is it cool when you're watching a guy, maybe you're getting a chance to scout him, you make that selection, and then you get a chance to kind of see them and work with them personally?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think last year I wasn't as involved as I was this year, being on the road a little bit already. But last year, for sure, we watched a ton of video on guys. We watched a ton of video on Shawzy. I talked to a lot of coaches, call it D1 guys, about him that had seen him play a ton. And then finally getting them on your ice in your uniform, it's like, okay, here we go. Like now we know what we're talking about. Now we know what we see. Like, listening to everybody else is one thing, but when you get to see a player and start to see, where they're really special, it's a cool thing to see.
And both of these guys are looking to make college commitments too. How fun is it to be part of that process with helping them make that huge decision in their life?
I stay out of it. I don't want anything to do with it. Let Rocky deal with that. That's his specialty, his forte. But obviously it's an exciting time for these guys, right? And our job is to make sure that their head doesn't get too big when they get 10 phone calls a week and whatnot. But no, they're humble guys. They give everybody the time of day. So it's whoever gets these 2, it's going to be a really special moment for both parties. So try to live in the moment and enjoy it, right? It doesn't last forever. Once you make your college commitment, you're not the hot girl on the block anymore per se. So you got to have fun with it, but stay focused on your development and make sure that your head's present and you are where your feet are too. So
yeah, looking forward to them inevitably making that decision here with the Stars. Mike, we enjoyed having you here on with us. And we're looking forward to the next time we can have you on the show. Good luck and enjoy the games this weekend.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. I live down the street from the new place here, so I have a feeling I might be filling in more than we think. So
Might be a couple of times, maybe once a month visitor.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Joel. Take care, man. Thanks for having me.
Stars assistant coach Mike Zanella joining us. I'm Joel Norman here on Outside the Box. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to chat with two centermen, Tyler Wood and Reese Shaw will join us. More to come here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken dips. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Gary Michaels Clothiers celebrates 40 years of serving Nebraskans in the men's clothing industry. 40 years of some of the most memorable moments. In our way of thanking you for 40 years, we are offering a 40% discount on any single one item in the store. 40% off any suit, sport coat, slack, sports shirt, sweater, outerwear, or shoes. To receive your 40% off on one item, be there by November 11th. Gary Michaels, 40% off for 40 years, located at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
School taught you all about the 4 seasons, spring, summer, and so on. And then there's the way we really tell what time of year it is in sports seasons. Football season, baseball season, or off season. But what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now. And now, and now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolatseason.com.
October is full of sports, with football and volleyball reaching mid-season and basketball and winter sports starting up. All the excitement of the games brings major stress, and stress causes tight muscles and pain. It's time to call The Body Shop, your place in Lincoln for all types of massages: deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Eliminate the pain from sports watching stress today with a massage at The Body Shop at 48th and A and online at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Join Planet Fitness now and get the PF Black Card for only $24.99 a month. You'll enjoy an upgraded experience with tons of perks.
Like access to more than 2,000 locations worldwide?
Yep.
And massage chairs?
Yes.
Can I bring a friend every time?
Sure.
Can my friend be a horse?
Nay. Sorry. Get the PF Black Card and feel fit-tacular. Only $24.99 a month. Our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, is your ticket to getting all the perks. Join today. See Club for details.
So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's the Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, the Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street.
Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back again here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's Outside the Box. We're chatting Lincoln Stars hockey ahead of this coming weekend's games. The Stars are on the road on Friday night. They take on the Sioux Falls Stampede. It's the final game of a 5-game road trip where the Stars are on the road for all 5. And they've been home since October the 14th. But that changes this Saturday when Lincoln hosts the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders at 6:05 p.m. at the Icebox. Don't forget that is military night. The Stars will be wearing some specialty jerseys for that one. They'll be auctioned off after the game and will benefit the Nebraska Warriors. A really great program. I'd really encourage you, if you're not familiar with them, to Google them. So we hope you can make it out to that game and help really support an awesome cause. So as I mentioned, we're going to welcome in a couple of guests here now onto Outside the Box. We're 2 centermen, Reese Shaw and Tyler Wood, joining us. Guys, you said you're making your radio debut here. Welcome in, and thanks for being here with us, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I appreciate it.
Reese, I'll start with you. We talked a little bit about, Mike and I were talking about a little bit about the coming to Lincoln. It's a different spot, a different level. You played a little bit in the North American Hockey League last year. What's that been like, making this jump here to the USHL?
It's definitely been difficult. I mean, it's a completely different league than the North American League. Guys are a lot more skilled and just a lot more. They're even more physical, and it's taken a lot to kind of raise my game to get there. But I think I'm adapting well, and it's been a great time. So
you played 6 games with New Mexico last year. Most of your work was with Gentry Academy in Minnesota. What was that like, switching things up, going from Minnesota to New Mexico?
It was pretty interesting. So I started my fall with New Mexico and Nolan, then went back to high school and then came back to New Mexico. And I think it was good, having the last year with my buddies at high school and then going back to Nolan, having my buddies there and having a good time and trying to win and make the playoffs. So,
of course,
yeah.
Stars captain Jimmy Joseph was with New Mexico for the 2 years prior to last season.
Yeah.
You talk with him at all about stuff you guys remember from playing there?
Yeah. We talk a lot about it and talk about some of the guys that we know and we met each other at main camp and we were talking about it there. And yeah, it was awesome to have him here. So
very cool. And Tyler Wood, you of course played last year in the BCHL, limited action there, 9 games with the Cowichan Valley Capitals. I love that name, Cowichan, by the way. But you had some injury. You had an injury. I think Mike said it was a shoulder injury that you had, though.
Yeah, I dislocated my shoulder and then ended up getting surgery on it.
What's the recovery been like from that? I imagine you look like you're at full health right now, the way you're playing with the Stars. I imagine it's got to be nice to be out and playing with, if any, limited limitations.
Yeah, no, I'm back to normal now, and it feels awesome. It was a long time in a sling and not doing much, so being back out there is awesome.
What was the BCHL like? Beautiful part of the country. I work out there in the summer personally, so I've been out in that area a lot. But you got a little bit of a taste of that last year. What was that like?
No, I loved it. I loved my time in BC. I wasn't out there long, but it was we had a great group of guys, great team, and it was awesome experience for me. And I was glad I went out there, especially making the jump this year. Like with only a few junior games, but it did help. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a Canadian already, so it probably was really nice doing that. What's it been like jumping into the States here? I can hear just the way you say out, as well,
Yeah.
the difference. What's it been like here living in the States now?
No, it's way different, especially where I'm from. I'm from an island on the East Coast, so the buildings here and the population and everything is a complete culture change for me. But I'm adjusting. So
Is the cold is it different because it's a little flatter here, maybe by chance, or?
it's a lot colder back home than it
Back
is
home.
here. So I know when it was even in the 20s 2 weeks ago or whatever, it was in like the minuses back home. So it's pretty lucky there.
Not bad in that regard. And both of you, as I mentioned, newcomers to this team, Reese Shaw and Tyler Wood. Guys, let's talk about the team on the ice so far. We mentioned the record right now. You're sitting at 3-6-0-1. Very, very early on the campaign, though. How's this group coming together? I'll start with you, Reese.
we're definitely coming together. I mean, we've always been a pretty close group. We all get along really well. And I think we're just finding our feet right now. We're a really young team, and I think it'll take time, but I think we'll definitely get there and be a pretty scary team down the stretch here.
Tyler, what do you think? You think you guys are kind of at a spot you're about to turn a corner?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously not the start we wanted, but we have so much talent in the room and the guys are so close and we want to win so bad. It's just bound to happen eventually. And I know, I'm glad we're getting this adversity at the start of the year rather than, going down the stretch where, games are so important and stuff. So we're definitely going to turn the corner here and bring it on.
You got your first goal last Friday here in the USHL. What did that mean for you to get that one out of the way? And that was a big goal at the time. It was the first goal of that game.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I didn't score last year, so it was my first goal in 2 years, so it felt pretty good. Yeah, but no, I was happy to score, and it was a big goal at the time. But yeah, it was awesome.
Can you remember when your last goal was in actual game? I don't not even mean this, but I mean just like thinking about you. I mean, that had to feel really good then to get that goal.
No, it felt awesome. I think my last goal before that was my U15 year at South Kent in regionals. So it would have been 2021 probably, or 2022.
Wow.
So 2 like hockey seasons ago.
What's going through your mind when it goes in the back in that? You saying, "Wow, I didn't even think about what I needed to do for a celebration," anything like that?
Well, it was my first shift, so I wasn't like expecting much. I just tried to get the puck on net. I didn't really even see it go in, but I seen the ref, give the signal, and I just kind of threw my hands up. But no, it felt awesome, and I was glad to get it.
Really exciting. That was a heck of a play. That was one of those ones where it just kind of developed out of nowhere, which for me was something that was so fun. I remember that went off both posts too.
Yeah.
And that was, you don't see that too often. I couldn't tell from my angles, like, did it hit the goalie and going again? And it's like, you got both posts. So it had to be such a cool feeling.
Yeah, it felt awesome. Yeah, I'm still thinking about it, but yeah, no.
Absolutely. Reese, you're looking for that first one. Like we said, we got a lot of guys this year who are looking for that first USHL goal. You got one though last year with New Mexico. What was that like getting your first one at the junior hockey level when you did it in the North American Hockey League?
It was awesome. I mean, it was my first game, and we were looking to just get some more points on the board, and got a lucky pass, and I was able to bury it, and it felt awesome after a while of practice in there, and yeah, I couldn't have been more happy about it. So
for both of you guys and a lot of guys, when you come over to a league like this, I think, I don't know if humbling is the right word, but sometimes, you guys are coming from levels where you in AAA, if you're in the USHL, you were pretty darn good in AAA. I'll just give your numbers, Reese. For high school hockey, for Gentry, you had 22 goals and 25 assists, good for 47 points in 27 games last year. And, Tyler, we look back at the last time you were playing a full season without injury. We're looking back and you had 79 points in 53 games for South Kent, 15U AAA, 21-22. What's that like dealing with the frustration sometimes of, wow, the points aren't coming as easily for me at a higher level? And how do you kind of battle through this and look to improve? I'll start with you, Reese.
I mean, it's just staying positive. I mean, we're all pretty tight knit in the locker room, and they kind of build you up. And like, if you need something, they'll always be there. And just sticking to the process that Rocky always talks about, just always being willing to get better and just do whatever it takes to help the team win first and foremost, and then worrying about the points later. So,
Tyler, what about for you?
Yeah, it's just it's different because you kind of got to adapt to a new role because, like coming into this league, like you might not be the scorer you were back in whatever, or minor hockey or whatever you were. So you just kind of adapting to your role and knowing where you fit on the team and just kind of doing whatever you can to help the team win. And that's kind of how I look at it. And I'm not too worried about numbers, but obviously they're nice to get. But that's kind of how I look at it.
Reese, you were a I think it was a phase 2 pick last season by the team. The USHL draft is different in the sense that, it happens pretty quickly how it goes about. You were an 8th round pick by the Stars, and that. What was that like when you found out you were going to this team? I imagine this was a team you had spoken with a little bit beforehand.
Yeah, I never talked to the coaches before draft. My advisor told me that they were really interested and stuff, and didn't know what was going to happen draft day because I talked to a few teams, and I luckily got picked by them, and I was ecstatic. I jumped up, and my mom was home with me, and we gave each other a hug, and pretty happy. And we're like, that's a good spot. Like, we're really excited. And then Rocky called me, and I was really happy about it. So it's great.
How much had you known about the Stars prior to being drafted?
I knew a little bit. I knew a couple Minnesota guys like Henry Nelson and Tanner Ludke, and just knew that they played here, and knew that it was a great organization, and heard only good things about it. So I was really excited.
Tyler, what about you? You weren't a draft pick by the Stars. Tell me how were you acquired? Everyone has different journeys for how they end up being part of an organization. Mike was saying that you've been under team control for a couple of years here.
I actually was drafted 2 years ago. I was in phase 1. But yeah, going back to then, it was kind of weird for me because I was still deciding whether I wanted to go this route or I wanted to go the Canadian route. And so I didn't talk to too many teams at the time just because of that. But when I finally did decide to go this route, my advisor in Lincoln talked a lot, and I luckily got drafted by them, and here now.
What's it like being in Lincoln? What have you guys enjoyed about this town and what it has to offer? Obviously, it's getting colder a little bit right now, but I imagine while it was warm, you had a chance to go out and go see a few more places in town.
Yeah, I mean, we went golfing. Golfing was always a big thing when it was warm, and that was fun. Going around the city, just kind of seeing what's around, all the food places. I mean, the fans are great. Like, you don't have better fans in the league, and yeah, the city's awesome.
What about you, Tyler? What have you enjoyed here?
I've enjoyed a lot. You know, it's a lot different than where I'm from. So just being around the city is kind of cool, like for me, and seeing, you know, how many people there are, especially on college football game days, and seeing how crazy the city goes for that. So that's been pretty cool. And, you know, everything else is kind of cool too. Like, yeah.
Tell people a little bit. We've talked about home a little bit with both of you. Tell people where you're from. Reese, I'll begin with you.
I'm from Coon Rapids, Minnesota, which is about 25 minutes out from the cities. Pretty big town. I grew up there, didn't play hockey there. I played at a private school, and yeah, I'm super glad that I was from there, and it's a big hockey city, which was good. So,
Tyler, tell us about home for you.
I'm from Prince Edward Island, Canada, so it's a little island on the East Coast. Only about 100,000 population, and you know, it's a lot of fields, farms. There's a little town like in the middle of it, but that's about it.
What's it nearby, geographically speaking? I don't know how well our fans' Canadian knowledge is, but
it's in the Maritime, so it's close to like Nova Scotia,
okay,
like New Brunswick.
Okay,
it's, yeah, close to there.
So being on an island, you know, how much would you get over to maybe bigger areas? I mean, with you playing hockey, I imagine you did that a fair amount.
Yeah, definitely. Like, obviously, where I'm from, like the hockey's not amazing. Like, it's good, but you have to you kind of have to eventually veer off and go off island. But yeah, I've definitely been off island a bunch for hockey.
Reese, with you being from Minnesota, that usually speaks for itself. What's it like? I always love asking us, what's that competition like, being someone who wants to play hockey in Minnesota?
It's unreal. I mean, everyone you know, they play hockey, whether it's on the ponds or just like at the rinks, open skate and stuff. And like the state tournament's unreal. Great time. Actually got the chance to go, but it was COVID, so I didn't have any fans. But it's awesome having all those hockey players. So
I think that state tournament in particular, that's one thing people don't understand. I mean, the Xcel Energy Center sells out for high school hockey.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like I can only imagine what that's like to be like in person.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I pretty much win every year, and it was awesome. So
before we go to the break here, real quickly, you mentioned that you guys like to golf a little bit when it was warmer. Now, I loved asking this last season a little bit, and you mentioned him already. Henry Nelson was the guy who everyone said last season was our best golfer. Obviously, he's no longer with the team. Who maybe has that role this season? I want to see if both of you have an opinion on that.
I haven't been golfing with anyone so far. I'm not a big golfer.
Not a golfer, okay.
I can't contribute on that one.
What about you, Reese?
I'd probably say Mangs, either Mangan or Cass. Cass is pretty good.
Pretty good too.
Jans is really good.
Okay.
Yeah, he shot like a 68 one time, which is ridiculous. So.
Mangan really bragged. I remember last season a lot, and the team went to Top Golf one time, and he was consistently hitting it to the back a lot and getting a lot of points that way. But I figured he might be the one, but I wasn't sure. Tyler, what's some stuff you like, hobbies you enjoy though in your free time here? Maybe when it's warmer out too.
I haven't gone much here, but I'm a big fisherman.
Okay.
I actually, my billet house has like a little pond behind it, so I did go out once with my billet brothers there early on in the year, but that's all we got out.
Very cool. I would imagine being on an island, there's plenty of opportunities to fish, right?
Yeah, tons of opportunities. In the summertime, me and my dad are out almost every day on the water fishing. So
I was gonna say, what's maybe your coolest fishing story you can tell?
Not a lot. I mean, I caught a 10-pound trout, which it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. The 10-pound trout is pretty big, especially where I'm from. And that was actually when I was younger. I was only about 6 or 7 years old.
Very cool. Very neat. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to continue here on Outside the Box, chatting a little bit of Lincoln Stars hockey with a couple of centers, Tyler Wood and Reese Shaw. I'm Joel Norman, and we'll have more to come after this break.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group are Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
This is Rick Heyman, president of Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I'm inviting you to stop by any of our 3 great locations to see why we have been voted best of for decades. We're a 4-generation jewelry company that refuses to compromise on quality or service. If you're in the market for anything for anyone special, nothing, and I mean nothing, says it better than Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Sartor Heyman Jewelers since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
After being Lincoln's #1 trusted plumbing, heating, and cooling company for 27 years, John Henry's is proud to announce we now offer electrical services. Call today to book a full range of electrical services by our licensed, background-checked professional electricians. John Henry's, our family serving yours.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
Now offering electrical.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Discovery Days will give you the opportunity to experience SCC firsthand this fall. Discovery Days provide information about SCC's programs of study, how to pay for college, SCC support services, housing, activities, and more. A campus tour and lunch are provided. See your options at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 Tall Boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back again here on Outside the Box as we're chatting Lincoln Stars hockey. I'm team broadcaster Joel Norman. As we mentioned, a couple of big games coming up for the Stars this weekend. They're at the Sioux Falls Stampede coming up on Friday night. Always fun to go up to the Denny Sanford Premier Center Stampede. A really good team right now, though. They're third in the Western Conference, 5 points out of first place. Stars are chasing them and a couple of other teams. And then Cedar Rapids comes to town on Saturday night. One of just 3 home games in the month of November. And we hope to have you at the Icebox for Military Night. Special uniforms for the team that night. And they will be auctioning those off after they wear them that game. And the proceeds will benefit the Nebraska Warriors. You can get your tickets now at LincolnStars.com. I know Corey is really secretive about the jerseys. I've seen a peek of what they're going to look like. They're really, really good. No surprise if you've seen Corey Courtney stuff. You guys have been wearing a couple new jerseys this year. Obviously, you didn't see from last year or not, but those the cream alternates and the blue alternates. Kind of a similar design. What do you guys think of those? I thought those have been really cool in a small sample size so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think my favorites are the cream. Got to wear those at home for the home opener, which was pretty cool.
Those were really neat. Tyler, what about you? Do you like the new ones?
Yeah, I think they're wicked. Like both on the blue and the green ones are both super cool.
Yeah, and it's been interesting. 4 great uniforms. We had this, as we mentioned, the specialty ones throughout the season as well. What's your favorite Stars jersey of the 4? I really like I love the classic white jerseys personally. I don't know what it is. It's simple. It's got that the mock Dallas Stars design that they used to wear. So I really like those. What about you guys?
I mean, I got to go with the cream. I just love the
cream
color.
ones.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Tyler?
I'd probably go with the cream ones too, but I seen ones that they wore last year with it was like the state of Nebraska. They were gray. I thought those were pretty cool.
Those gray ones were my favorite. I was bummed when they went by the wayside. I knew that we weren't going to have them for a 3rd season. I really knew we weren't when for the 2nd straight year in a row, the final game of the postseason, we get eliminated. We were wearing those. So, that's a kiss of death right there. But we should mention, of course, it is Halloween. I wanted to ask you guys about that. Have you ever had maybe a Halloween costume you remember as a kid that you guys did? And, someone says the word Halloween, you think of, yep, I remember that one year. That was a pretty good costume. Start with you, Reese.
Yeah. I always had the Scream mask, and it would have like blood you could like put into it. And I wore that like for like 4 years in a row.
Really?
So yeah.
What about you, for Tyler?
I never really was a costume guy. Really, I just kind of threw on a mask and ran around with my buddies. So that was it.
And claimed your candy, right?
Yeah, pretty well.
What was your favorite candy? What is your favorite candy? I should say for you're going up to a basket, and if you see that, you're taking it.
Reese's peanut butter cups all day.
Good pick.
I like those too. I'm also like a big.
We got plenty outside, gents. Grab a couple on the way out.
Yeah.
I like gummy bears and stuff like that.
Gummy
too.
bears.
Yeah.
Okay. I forget who it was. I was talking to a couple people in our office, and the sour or the chewy types of candies was very polarizing. It was like anything non-chocolate, people were kind of, I love that or I hate it.
Yeah.
I like the Sour Patch Kids. That's about it though, on those non ones. But I like the Reese's peanut butter pick as well. As we mentioned, you guys have gotten some chance to do some stuff in the community as well. Reese, you came right over here from the mall. You were part of their trick or treating here. What was that like? Getting to see a lot of fans along the way as well.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, a lot of fans came out, and people that weren't fans, we gave them the schedule, and they said they'd go. And there's probably 1,000 people, no exaggeration, which was pretty crazy. And had a great time. Had Varner and Maltz with me too, which was good.
Very cool. Tyler, you've gotten a few chances to go, meet some people in the community. What's that been like, seeing some of the fans, seeing some people here in Lincoln?
Yeah, the fans are awesome here. Super welcoming. And nothing but great things to say about them.
What's your favorite thing, guys, about home games for the Stars? Stuff that goes on at night at the Icebox. What do you enjoy the most?
I really like the Star coming down. I mean, that's obviously a big one, and also Minute Madness in the 3rd period. It's
Yeah.
cool. So.
What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, I just love the atmosphere, just how crazy the fans go when we're doing well. It's pretty cool to play up behind.
I always love telling you guys, wait till we get Omaha here. You saw it in the preseason, and that was pretty intense for a preseason game. And that was obviously fun for us, how the way it worked out. But once we get them in the regular season, that way they go off to go to the locker room. You'll see fans hanging over the railing, yelling at them when they get tossed in a game. And it's just and that rivalry, there's nothing like that when it's going in the regular season. And obviously we've got a couple of weeks before we see them on November the 18th, which is crazy because at this point last year, I think we'd played them about 3 times already. But how much are you guys enjoying the way the schedule is this year? Obviously, you can't compare with last season. How are you enjoying seeing, knowing that you're seeing all the teams in the league and getting to see a lot of different towns?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. The travel has been a little tough for the past couple weekends, but I mean, that's hockey for you. So it's pretty cool to play all the teams and kind of see all their players and stuff. So.
Wait, Tyler?
Yeah, I agree. Like I love playing all the teams just because I have a lot of buddies in the East too that I've played with over the years. So it's nice to play against them. And yeah.
3 road cities so far. What's been your favorite rinks, real quickly, guys, that you played in between Waterloo, Sioux City, and Des Moines?
Probably Waterloo.
Waterloo so far?
I like Sioux City just because it
Okay.
was the pink ice. I liked Waterloo too just because it was bigger.
Yeah, but two really good spots, and that's one of the fun things of this road is going on the road, seeing some of these different spots as well. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. Best of luck here this weekend. Let's go get 4 points.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
for having us.
Reese Shaw and Tyler Wood joining me. I'm Joel Norman. This has been Outside the Box, chatting Lincoln Stars hockey. We'll be back next Tuesday here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Experience flexibility like never before with Ace Rent-to-Own. Whether you're decorating a new home or upgrading your electronics, they provide easy payment plan options that suit your budget. No credit checks, no hefty interest rates, just straightforward renting solutions designed with you in mind. Find great options to make a beautifully furnished space or surround yourself with the latest gadgets. With Ace Rent-to-Own, it's all within your grasp. Visit acerentown.com and bring home more than just a product. Bring home a lifestyle.
Tailored Lights is your go-to local manufacturer and installer of the best landscape lighting. Tailored Lights is excited